and I had 10K that Ammi gave to me as a gift. She's like, this is for you because you're starting a whole new thing. She gave me 10K, had 5K from this tuition fee. And then I was like, well, okay, let's start, by the name of Allah, let's start. And I did. And then we're here now, 5 years into the future, being interviewed.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Kaabil Kahani, where it is our job to bring out the stories of the passion product founders in Pakistan. इतने ज़्यादा of you guys have written to us in the past 5-6 years कि यार हमने अपना क्लोथिंग का पैशन है या फूड का पैशन है या टेक का पैशन है, उसके हमने कैसे प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में लेके जाएं. So हमारा आइडिया सिंपल है, we are bringing to you the stories of those people who had the courage to bring their products into the market using either social media, collaborations, and 1,000 other ways that you get to learn from them. One of those founders is a guy who has no idea, but his cinnamon rolls has made it to my home, and his videos have made it to my home as well. His name is Fahad. Fahad is a recent graduate of FC College, and we'll get into his origin stories and everything. But right now, I wanted to start directly with his beautiful studio that you guys are looking at here, which is his studio where he bakes cinnamon rolls and probably 1,000 other things. We'll ask Fahad all about it as well. Fahad, without wasting any time, we would want to start directly from our curiosity, which is Fariha looking at your heart's cupboard. And she's like, what is the story behind it?
Before I start, I just want to say thank you to Vikas and Fidia for having me. I'm really honored to be here and for this opportunity. And, I'm just really elated to be here. So regarding the Hearts cabinet, it was basically this Powerpuff Girls. When they in the ending scene, three of them pop up and they're like, they give their little goodbye thing, whatever. So it was just in my head, and I was like, I want to create something, that really goes well with big fat rolls. And I drew this cabinet on my journal. And the next day, I took it to my carpenter, and I was like, I want this cabinet. He's like, oh, it's not possible. I said, you don't tell me this isn't possible because I'm known to make things. I'm known to make it happen. So So then we went to this place. My mom took me to this place, and they just made it possible within a day or two, and it was just put together like that.
Amazing. Amazing. What a story.
And all of this, everything you see in the back, everything, all cabinets, all the kitchen island, I designed all of it with the help of my sister, of course, because she'd be mad if I didn't give her credit. But it was just all me. Nobody was hired to come in and work in the studio because it was such a personal and passion project. I wanted it to be all me. It's okay if it didn't work out and if the dimensions weren't correct at some point, but I just want to be all me. I want to be able to say, "Oh, I made it," and that's what it's about.
फहद कहाँ से ज्वाइन कर रहे हो, स्टूडियो कहाँ पे है?
My studio's in Gulberg, Lahore, and we're live from Lahore, Pakistan.
Beautiful. That story of the cover is sugar, spice, and all things nice. And then by by accident there was chemical X. So I am guessing that it represents all of this as well. The flavors that you make, and then that extra touch that nobody knows about. That might be just the passion.
It is, but I'm just, it just goes to show that when you really want something, you make it happen. Everybody told me, the carpenter told me, and I said, for example, another example, these cupboards, right? He said, they can't paint it pink, and I have to get some other sort of wood material, etc., etc. And I was like, no, I've seen it happen, and I know it works like that. And everybody said to me, whenever I tell them something, while I was getting a studio made, कि वो ऐसे नहीं हो सकता, आप ऐसे कर लो, आप ऐसे नहीं. But then my mom and I, huge credit to her because she's like, "Nahi, we'll do the research and we'll go to all the markets, no matter how much time it takes, we'll make it happen." Just one sec. There are railway tracks right in front of my studio, so the train passes every hour. So you can probably hear that. So yeah, mom
Oh
and I,
man,
we did the
there
research.
is. Yeah, go ahead.
We just made it happen. So credit to my mom for just being there and for
यार There is love and family and support shows all over everything you're doing. It is not just the product that we are consuming. Uske piche hum dekh rahe hain कि sister is involved with her own creative aspects, mom is involved with her own logistics.
My brother, everyone. And these are the people who genuinely made it happen. I know that I sometimes say or think, I am the one. And yes, I am the mastermind behind Big Fat Rolls, but these people, the way they push me every single day, the way they hold me down, without them, I wouldn't be here. Genuinely, every single day when they support me unconditionally, when they shower me with love, when they tell me that I can do whatever I put my mind to, it's special. And in my subconscious, then I recall it that if they're saying it, I can make it happen. Maybe it's true. I can make it happen, and then eventually it manifests in life. You know.
Amazing. Fahad, for people who are listening to you for the first time, tell them what is Big Fat Rolls? What are all the products or flavors you make before we get into the story? So, what is the current state at the moment?
Big Fat Rolls is in a really transitionary state, I'd say, right now. Like, for example, we're being reached out from all these cafes and bakeries. This wasn't the case, by the way, last year, because since last year, we were only dealing with the customers, my people, my clientele that I've formed in the past 5 years, and they were reaching out, like, oh, day-to-day orders. But then, since last year, we've become vendors now, and we supply to all these bakeries, and everybody wants our products, and it's such a heartwarming thing to see that they're interested in the product now after like 5 years. And I was not in rush, to do this. I wasn't in rush to get to the stage because when I started out, I know the first year everybody would tell me, "Okay, oh, you should supply to certain bakeries and stuff like that." And I was like, "I'll do it like in due time, in due time. Like, there's no rush." They tell me, "Oh, you should reach out to this bakery, and you should supply over there." And then, well, lo and behold, when the right time came, they reached out to me, and they were like, "We want your product." And I was like, "Wait." So that's how great God is. That's how He made it happen, and it just goes to show once you put in the work, and you just strategize, and you pray, everything falls into place in due time. You don't have to work extra. You don't have to sweat yourself far too much. You just have to put in the work and make sure you're doing it for the right cause, and everything falls in place in due time.
This is beautiful. Fahad, I will tell you how the Big Fat Rolls made it to my home and why I
I'm
became, let's
excited.
say, the first time. I was like, yeah, this ladke, there's something deeper going on with this guy. So, baked Lahore is where we go for our protein bites and all the other work. So, Sundays are cheat days. Sundays is where we get other things. And I am like from all the way from Cinnabon days back in even Singapore, Australia. So I've been living abroad for a very long time as a massive fan of cinnamon rolls. So big fat rolls pade with a baked way, and me and my wife, I was like, yaar, ye bahut maze ke lag rahe hai, I wanna get them. So we got them home. And of course, I was loving them, but my wife was like, ये तो आपने बेक से लिए हैं, अगर आप big fat roll से direct order करो तो फहद के साथ एक वीडियो भी आती है, and here is the video. Then she showed me that video because उसने पहले काफी दफा order किए हुए थे. And
Yes.
then she showed me that video. That video was full of heart. It was like telling people, thank you for buying it. I put in my heart and soul here. Of course, you would know the exact context. I want to actually wanted to go into this with that idea, कि यार, how did you even think of that video message and how that video message got out? And have you received a lot of replies? And even the content, even
I
the
don't want to
content of the video,
cry.
you can.
I don't
So
want to
people have
cry.
not
But
seen the video.
this is
People
the
have
first
not seen
time
the video.
someone's talking about it.
Tell me
And
about the video.
I just thought about it that in the root of everything, right? In the root of everything, I do what I do for the people that I love. I call them sinners. They're basically my fandom, and I call them sinners because cinnamon rolls and sinners, and they really, really just hold me down. They go out of their way to support Big Fat Rolls. It's a crazy little fandom. They show up and they show out for every little thing that I do. Whatever I do for them because I know that whatever I do, no matter how far I'll go, they've got me and they will be there to support me. Like, for example, with this tribute, I recently did a tribute to my dad on my page, and I think it was nobody's ever done that before, but it just goes to show that I'm not afraid to be me at my business, because people don't often do that. But since I know that I'm taken care of and whatever I do will be well received, inshallah and mashallah, so I don't really, be afraid, and I do whatever I want to do. And so I thought to myself that maybe, I should record a message for them so that I can thank them personally for the support that they've given me, because whatever I've achieved, it's because of them and through, Allah Ta'ala's grace. So I wanted to just, really take a moment to acknowledge that. And it was my birthday, because I basically launched with Fat Rolls on my birthday. So it was my birthday, and I came to my studio for like a brief minute. So I said, well, while I'm here, let me just record a video for my sinners and say thank you for everything that they've done for the past 5 years.
That video and that gesture made, I can say, fans for life of you. I am very sure that everybody who has seen or that video has become a bigger fan of yours than any other brand or cinnamon rolls, because people are able to see through that कि जे बंदा जो product दे रहा है वो उसके commercial से ज़्यादा इसके पीछे it's a product of love, and they stand behind it. That reminded me of and that video struck even more with me because about 1995 96 there was this guy called Derek Sivers who started a business called CD Baby before music was yet not on iTunes or on the downloadable platforms like YouTube. So people used to buy CDs. And CD businesses, बड़ा चल रहा है, commercial business है, लोग records बना के बेच रहे हैं. So every time people used to buy from CD Baby, उनको email जाती थी, the first original email, that thank you for placing order with the CD Baby. Right now, we are all in our studio and all our team is making sure that we are making your CD. Now we are recording it. Now we are polishing it. Now we are packing it in the most premium clothing because you are special for us. And right now, one of our sales representative is running to the post box, take within your CD. And right there, we have posted it and we have posted it with love, with this and that. And वो पूरी उन्होंने email पे एक journey बनाई थी. That by the time the CD reaches the person, they know how much work has been done behind it. CD Baby ended up becoming by 1999 a $25 million business. The guy sold it, and the guy is still a Derek Sivers ke upar. That guy is very famous, but he. To you as a young guy reminded me of that guy who just puts in so much passion behind every single cinnamon roll that leaves his studio.
Absolutely true. And I think sometimes, people think that, oh, like every customer is important. Sometimes, customers come like, oh, can I place a one cinnamon roll order? And I'm really sorry for taking you this much time for, one cinnamon roll. And I'm like, wait, pause. What are you talking about? You're just as important as someone who wants 10 cinnamon rolls. You took your time and you're here. And that's what matters. And you're going to get all of my time because, you're here. Because as a consumer myself, you don't really spend your hard-earned money on something unless you really want something that transcends you, and you just really connect with the product and something that really is the best and their best, the company's best. You don't want to invest your money in that unless you think this is company's best. And this is what I want to provide. Whether you're here for one cinnamon roll or 10 cinnamon roll or 100, you're gonna get the full experience.
Beautiful. Fahad, take us back in time. 5 years ago, roughly, I think, when was your birthday? What year was it? And at what point in time in your life you started university or you hadn't yet, when the first time the idea of that you want to take cinnamon rolls was started materializing in your head? Everything that was going on in your life, give us a sneak peek of what you can recall.
Yeah, it happened like 5 years ago, right? I just gotten free from college, FC college, and I had these holidays, and I was like, okay, I have like 3 months now. I don't know what to do in these 3 months, and I started forming a business plan. And I still have the register, by the way, I think somewhere in my home, and I wrote everything down. Okay, I want a cinnamon rolls. I want to start a cinnamon rolls business. Matter of fact, I shared an image of that journal with my siblings to inspire them to write their goals. And so, well, back to the story. So I wrote down, okay, I want a cinnamon roll business by the end of 2018. And I wrote all down, the details and everything that I might not remember right now, but I just wrote them down and I put in the work. I started, I reached out to my cousin who was a graphic designer, and I said that I need your help with this project that I'm starting. And he was so supportive. He still is. He really, went out of his way to work. And he would spend, his wife would can confirm this because he basically lives in Qatar, but he came the next year. He came when I already launched with fat rolls, and his wife was like, "If I had you realize, because Saad invested so much of his time, like he would stay up all night just to work on your graphics." It's like, wait, I really deeply appreciate it to have someone like that. I think I've been really lucky in that regard now that I'm thinking, but I do know that. So, he really spent all his nights working on the graphics. Whatever I tell him, "Okay, Sadhvi, I want it to be like that," he would make, just take my creative thoughts and turn them into graphic images for big fat rolls. And so I did that, and then I launched, and I remember one thing when I started big fat rolls. I did it because I had massive love for cinnamon rolls. I didn't do it for money. I didn't do it, oh, I want to have a certain amount by the end of the year. I didn't do it because I wanted to be seen. I didn't do it for anything. I did it because I just had this immense love for cinnamon rolls, and I wanted freedom. I wanted to do myself, and I wanted to just be creative without having the pressure or fear. Okay, oh, I have to, do this. I have to make certain amount of money. I have to pay this. I have to pay that. Everything was taken care of. My brother was there. My mom was like, "You don't have anything to worry about. We're gonna be here." So they gave me, and I was at that time, I was also working. I was teaching these two kids called Amna and Azmir. Shout out to them. They must be like really grown up now. And so I got like paid 5K by the end of the month. So I had that 5K from Amna's Azmir's parents, and I had 10K that Ammi gave to me as a gift. She's like, "Hey, this is for you because you're starting a whole new thing." She gave me 10K, had 5K from this tuition fee, and then I was like, "Well, okay, let's start. By the name of Allah, just let's start." And I did. And then we're here now, 5 years into the future, being interviewed.
How old were you at this exact moment when in 2018? And do you have an idea of how you put the first 15K to use? What were the first like building blocks that started coming together?
So well, I was 18 at that time. And with the 10K that Ambi gave me, I just went to Al Fatah straight up because it's really close, it's really near. Actually, यहाँ से भी काफी ज़्यादा, it's like walking distance. So I went to Al Fatah and I spent like, I think 8K down over there. And I bought this rolling pin, the cinnamon powder, and like I would buy really, really small stuff. But now, we buy for the whole month. We buy like huge stocks. ताकि पूरे महीने के obviously हम लोग हर रोज नहीं जा सकते अल्फता वगैरह. But at that time I bought like एक दूध का packet for like just making cinnamon rolls, which is so funny because I get like kilo के अंदर दूध अब यहाँ पर. So I bought like 200 ml ka doodh, cinnamon, 200 grams butter, and all these things. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to start a business. And then there was this one issue, right? Because वहाँ पर boxes वगैरह का मेरी अंदाज था कि boxes में order आ गया, हम किसने भेजेंगे order? And nobody was around to guide us, to like direct us कि आप लोग वहाँ पर जाएं, to connect us to the right people. So Ammi and I, we went all the way to Lahore Bazaar, which is like so far. It's like outskirts of Lahore. We went there. We spent like so much fare just to buy like 5 boxes. Many 5 boxes, we paid 10 rupees each. And वो 5 लेकर आए थे, वो मेरे महीना चले थे for a whole month. And then I was like, what am I going to do now? तो हम दोबारा अब चलते हैं. फिर हम 2-3 दफा गए थे. फिर मैंने कहा कि नहीं कुछ और भी इसका like I'm really certain कि इसका कोई आसान तरीका भी होगा क्योंकि काफी मुश्किल है और बिल्कुल भी प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है. हम लोग इतना फेयर लगा के सिर्फ 5-6 डब्बे लेकर आए. So then I learned, I think it was the end of 2018 when I learned कि oh wait, there are vendors now जो supply करते हैं और जो deliver करते हैं आपके घर पे आपको जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. And that's when I learned. And then I found this vendor जो मेरा अभी तक vendor है, उनसे मैं पे boxes वगैरह लिया करता था. So that's what I did with 7K. With the 7K that was left, my mom and I went to this thrift shop in Main Market, and we bought this second-hand cooking range that was going to use to bake cinnamon rolls. So that's what I did. It is so silly, but alhamdulillah for everything and every bit of that.
Man, these are the founder stories that we hear a lot when we read the biographical stories of some of the big entrepreneurs of the world. It is so beautiful to hear that it is one in the making. And one of the themes that really, really is is beautiful that is coming out is a role of family, especially two key members at this stage. One is for the branding design, I would say the cousin, and
Big time.
mom. So uska chal, let's get into, and the other was I was going to say the mom, but let's go into the branding and design part a bit more. So when I see the big fat rolls, from the name itself, big fat rolls, uske baad the branding of every single let's say a brownie or a cinnamon roll. Let me, for the audience, read a bit of them. Big fat, why the hell is Nutella so expensive? Big fat chocolate reloaded. Let me go. Sweet
Yeah.
16 rolls, heavy on it. What else?
Reloaded.
Valentine's brown. So tell me how is the, tell me the origins of the branding and the design story in 2018 with the cousin and all the way how you've evolved now. Because यहाँ पे एक spunk है जो हमें नजर आ रहा है. ये spunk कौन निकाल रहा है? And what is,
Well,
how is this spunk, yeah,
it,
coming into the
all
business?
the names, right? I came up with all of them, and I think even Saad Bhai can confirm that. But the graphics, right? Regarding the graphics, whatever I tell Saad Bhai, like whatever I tell him, he would never question it. That's one thing. Like for example, who names their brownies? Why the hell is Nutella so expensive? But I was like, wait, I was thinking, okay, why the hell is genuinely Nutella so expensive? I was like, wait, I'm gonna call this my brownies because the customers will get the message as well. The Nutella's really expensive, and Big Fat Rolls, doesn't really is not stingy with Nutella. The way this I named it that, and he would never question it. He'd never be like, oh, Fahad, this sounds a bit new and like you shouldn't. I don't think you should do that. He would go above and beyond, out of his way to just put in the work. And I'd be like, oh, साथ में मुझे ये चीज ऐसे चाहिए, ये मुझे आप ऐसे कर दे. He would just really put in the work, and I don't think he realizes how grateful I am for doing that. I tell him all the time, but I still don't think he realizes, how grateful I am that he did that. And to this day, he does that. Even though I've really taken off his burden now, I don't really bother him that much. But in the starting, in the beginning, those 3 to 4 years, he was really present every single day, and he never asked for anything in return. And I think it's really important to have such people in your life who are rooting for you genuinely and who just want to see you succeed.
That's amazing. And for listeners and readers of this, the branding part here, what you see in Big Fat Rolls, of course, we link it in both the case study and the podcast. The branding is what gets customers talking as well. And one of the
Absolutely.
things that you will see again and again on Big Fat Rolls that Fahad does a great job is basically speaking almost like the thoughts of the people. Why the hell Nutella is so expensive is almost like a thought, but it gets people talking. A
Right.
lot of times people are focusing on SEO optimization and keywords and this and that. The best, I read somewhere that the best SEO is your headline if it speaks to the customer. You don't even have to think about what customers are searching, but it is the emotion that it is capturing. So I absolutely love it. The
And
branding
yeah,
of Big Fat Rolls.
regarding the SEO, right? God knows, I just never really worried about these things. Like everybody who still they tell me, oh, you should do the SEO, you should do that, and I'm like, what if I'm happy with where I am and with what I have? Like I don't really know, but like they would always advise me, people who not like people who are involved, like for example my siblings or not them, but it's like other people. They're like, oh, you shouldn't do this. Do they take your business to the other level, to the next level? People who are not really part of the process. And even though I know, okay, they have their heart in the right place, but I just believe in the right timing and just being happy with where you are, gratitude. You just can't, if you keep on chasing these things. Okay, oh, maybe I should do this thing, maybe I should do that. My work is just cinnamon rolls, making good and mean cinnamon rolls. That's what I do every single day. SEO and all these things. I can't be bothered about it because I'm just they'll be far too much then. You know what I mean?
Man, yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. It is the guy who is known as the father of advertising, David Ogilvy. Back in these days, his principles are still timeless today, and the timeless principles are basically this: do not follow the formula. Talk what you actually genuinely feel about your own product or the customer's product if you are doing it for somebody else, rather than optimizing for the keywords. And because keywords might get you the initial reach, but when you make fans for life because you're speaking their language and you're connecting with them at the heart, then the network effect and the word of mouth that spreads it every single time beats over the algorithmic search.
Absolutely.
Fahad, the second story was about you going around with your mom and collecting second range, cooking range second hand, 10 boxes, 10 रुपए के या 5 रुपए के, all this optimization. This is something that shows to you that how much invested you are in it, कि यार कितनी ज़्यादा different मतलब सोच के procrastinate perfectionism में नहीं पड़ रहे, but you like यार ये कैसे ये जुगाड़ लगेगा, मैंने ये जुगाड़ करना है, and auntie is supporting you. Tell us, take us into a deep dive of कि इसमें आपका thought process क्या चल रहा था, आंटी का क्या चल रहा था, and how you guys were going
Before I
about it.
start, I just want to say that I'm really, really grateful for my mom. She's a single parent. My dad passed away when I was 7 years old. And my mom was basically, she was really young at that time. And she had like 4 kids who were still in school. And I was 7 years old at the time. And my eldest sister was like about, I want to say 19, 18, 19. So, she had like these 4 kids. And Papa was like out of the picture. To Allah Ta'ala's plan, he knew better. But she was so brave. I don't think that anyone realizes how brave she was, and she still is to this day. And like, especially when you're a woman, right? And I realize this, I think about it. When you're a woman, people around you, right? The second when Papa was out of the picture, like no offense to anyone, but everybody thought that they have the right to like patronize her and to sort of tell her, okay, oh, you should do a certain this thing with your kids. You should go this way with your kids. She never listened. She never bothered. She's like, no, I'm well. Even though she had no support in the back now, everything was taken. Like, imagine, आपका पूरा दुनिया आपकी हिल गई है एक रात में सिर्फ. And she had no idea. She kept her head high and she took care of her kids and she gave us everything that she had, everything. And she still does to this day, mashallah, alhamdulillah. And with her, she just never questioned anything. She never told any of us कि आप लोग ये नहीं कर सकते या आप लोग ये नहीं हो सकता और ये ना करो ऐसे ना करो. She said, "Kya, whatever you want, I'm gonna be there and I'll make it happen. And you've got me. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about anyone. You don't have to be anxious because I'm right here and I'll fight. I'll fight till the end." And that's what she does. And even with her, right? Because she was really involved in the Big Fat Rolls process, and she still is. Like she still advises me to this date because she was a baker in the beginning, big time. When she was telling me this like last month actually. We were having this conversation. We were like chilling in our room, and she said, "Ke oh, something about कि मेरे पास तब पूरी चीजें हुआ करती थी तब तुम्हारे पापा सो दिया गए थे." And massive, I had like तब सिर्फ ही ना पी थी, my eldest sister, तब सिर्फ she was born. It's like I had nothing to do. Like पूरा घर था कुछ भी नहीं करने के लिए. So what I would do is I would bake all day long. I would make pizzas. I would make cakes. कहती अब हैरत की बात है कि मुझे की रेसिपीज अब याद नहीं है. मैं कहता मैं सिर्फ ऐसे कर लिया करती थी. मैंने कहा you do realize I get it from you, right? Like मुझे आपसे ये चीज डायरेक्ट मिली है. तो कहती थी कह रही हाँ कि कुछ ऐसे ही बस हुआ, कह रही बस तो मैं बेक किया करती थी. तो कह रही अब तो मुझे याद भी है रेसिपी वगैरह. So yeah, we would just like hang out and we would like, you know, go everywhere to find boxes, stickers के हम लोग इतना तंग होते थे. हम लोग stickers देने के लिए जाना और लेकिन स्टिकर्स यहाँ से गुलबर्ग में मिलते ही नहीं है. जबकि गुलबर्ग में अब आई नो कि इतनी दुकानें हैं गुलबर्ग में स्टिकर्स की, आप कहीं से भी आप मिल सकते हैं. मेरे घर से 5 मिनट दूर है. But we would go so far. उर्दू बाजार के नजदीक ही हम लोग स्टिकर्स ले लें. सिर्फ 2-3 हमने वो पूरे पेज करवाने. And we think we're sorted now, but then again, next month on, we'd need more stickers. So it was really inconvenient in the beginning, but Ammi never really made me feel like कि वो तंग हो रही हैं, कि उनका वो bother हो रही है, कि काम तो मेरा था, उनको इनमें से क्या benefit था. But she didn't hold back. She's like, आपने जो करना आप करो, मैं आपके साथ हूँ, आओ इकट्ठे चले, रात के किस time जाना है. Even another story where I'm really sorry with these, stories, but another stories.
No. These stories are what all of us are suckers for. So
This is just for
you
Ammi.
tell
This is
as
just
many
for Ammi
stories.
solely. This is only for Ammi. This was like 3 years ago, right? I had this one order. जो customer की birthday थी. And then what happened was, I think it was December, और बारिश काफी तेज होने लगी थी for some reason. तो मैंने गाड़ी नहीं चलानी सीखी थी इस टाइम. मेरे भाई की न्यू गाड़ी थी और भाई सोए हुए थे. 12 बजे का टाइम था. And I don't even know why I said to the customer, कि I should have just put my foot down and been like, नहीं, it's okay, like बारिश हो रही है, मैं नहीं आ सकता. But rider कोई नहीं है, because normally riders लेके जाते हैं. This was the first and only time I went to deliver. But she's like, no, it's birthday, you know what? I need the. I was like, okay, fine, you know what? I'll come. तो बारिश थी और काफी खौफनाक वाली बारिश. एक होती है बारिश, right? Like बारिश, there are levels in बारिश. एक होती है बारिश, एक होती है तेज बारिश, एक होती है खौफनाक बारिश. ये थी खौफनाक बारिश. Ammi and I, we went. मैंने कहा मैं अकेला चाहते बना के देखा कहती नहीं बिल्कुल भी नहीं फादर टाइम हम नहीं जाओगे आपके साथ आऊंगी मैंने कहा I don't want to take you with me because what if things go south, you know, I don't know. She's like, I'll come, it's okay. So she came with me. We went to Aspiri 11, which is like 40 minutes drive from my house. We went there to deliver the order and it was pitch black everywhere. सिर्फ गाड़ी की लाइटें थी और अम्मी मेरे साथ थी. And when I got back, right, हम लोग घर safely आए अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह 1 बजे 1:30 तक. तो उन्होंने मुझे फिर बताया कि I was so scared, Fahad, you have no idea. मैं सब दिल में आयतुल कुर्सी पढ़ी थी मगर I'm really glad कि you know you really did that. तो मैंने कहा थैंक यू. मैंने कहा really glad कि आपने मुझे अपना fear इस time दिखाया नहीं कि आप मुझे दिखाती कि आप डर रही हैं. मेरे हाथ पैर और फूल जाने थे and I don't know what would have happened. But I had faith in myself that I'm a good driver. But still, you know, that's just the sort of woman she is. And I really hope that Allah Ta'ala, you know, blesses her endlessly and keeps her in my life. Because I don't know what I would be without her.
Yeah, we have become a big fans of Auntie as well. Thank you for sharing this story with all of us. I think this should have been out there, and this should have been out there for all those moms who are supporting their kids, following their passions in studies and business and everything. So thank you for sharing this. This was beautiful. Fahad, अब अर्ली डेज के अंदर अब आप अपना प्रोडक्ट पे आ रहे हो. नाउ यू आर बेकिंग सिनेमन रोल्स. व्हाट गोज बिहाइंड इन योर माइंड कि यार कौन सा कब वैलिडेशन मिलना शुरू होती है, कैसे वैलिडेशन ले रहे हो, टेस्टिमोनियल्स ले रहे हो या इवन किस किस को टेस्ट करवा रहे हो कि आई हैव अ प्रोडक्ट दैट पीपल आर गोना लव. ये जो कॉन्फिडेंस है फ्रॉम बेकिंग फॉर योरसेल्फ इन द किचन टू हैविंग अदर पीपल हैव इट, इसकी ट्रांजिशन में चलते हैं. व्हाट आर द अर्ली मेमोरीज ऑफ इट?
Well, I think the first person who I sent the cinnamon rolls to as a business were. Do you guys know about Annie Khalid, the girl with the curly hair? She sang this song called Mahia. Tune aise nigaah se dekha dil ho gaya nisar Mahia. No,
Not
she's a really
really.
popular singer in Pakistan. Her last song was with in a movie called Avarapan, and she sang for them. She's a really good friend of mine, really, really good. We're like siblings at this point. And so she was a huge fan of cinnamon. She'd be there like every single day. And in 2018, I sent cinnamon rolls to her, and I said that Annie, like, just let me know what you think. And then she calls me, you know, after like receiving after an hour. She goes like, Fahad, these are so buttery, so good. I can't believe that you did that. I'm never gonna go to cinnamon again. I was like, wait. I was like, really? Are you serious? So she was the first person ever to validate me. And then, you know, she posted like 7 to 8 stories back to back. Okay, oh, the cinnamon rolls are so good. And I said, are you doing this because you're my friend, or do you really like the cinnamon rolls? She said, no, I really love them because you know this really is something amazing, and I see this turning into something really, really beyond. I think you should really take this to the next level. And I said, well, that was the beginning of Big Fat. I was the first person ever who received the package, you know, with let's call it a PR package as a business.
I think one of the things I want to highlight here for everybody is the value of the early wins. Whenever you're starting something, it is almost in most cases counterproductive to think of the scale, but it's way more productive of securing the early win. What is an early win? It could be just first customer who has ordered from your business, चाहे वो उसने WhatsApp से ही क्यों ना order किया हो, या first customer to leave you a review. That is where the confidence comes. And once the confidence comes, then of course we have unlimited ability to capitalize on them. So Fahad, keeping that in mind कि ठीक है एनी को पसंद आए, कस्टमर फेसिंग कैसे शुरू हुआ है? ये इंस्टाग्राम से शुरू हुआ है, ये व्हाट्सएप से शुरू हुआ है, ये वेबसाइट से शुरू हुआ है? व्हाट वाज योर फर्स्ट थॉट कि यार मैं कैसे सेलेक्ट करूं, हाउ आई एम गोना रीच आउट टू द पब्लिक फर्स्ट टू गेट द ऑर्डर्स?
I did not really care about being seen. That's the thing. I was just posting for myself at this point. When Annie posted me, right, like I got like 50, 60 followers that day because she has really massive followings on Instagram. So she tagged me, and then this first customer called Mehnaz Mahmood, who is still in contact with me. and it was still, we stay in touch. And she was the first ever customer, and she placed an order for like 6 cinnamon rolls, and I went to deliver them myself because I was the first ever order. I had like no riders or anything. And then my mom was like, कि फहद का ये असली order बेटा, आपसे वो cinnamon roll छीन ना ले, तो आपको पैसे ना दे। मैंने कहा, ऐसे नहीं होता। I, I think I'll be good. वो कहती बेटा आपसे छीन ना ले cinnamon roll, पैसे भी ना दे। मैं के लिए बेफिक्र फिक्र ना करना। मैंने कहा मैं पैसे लेकर आऊंगा। So I went to deliver to, cinnamon rolls, and then they messaged me back like an hour or two later. They're like, "Oh, we want to place another order for like tomorrow." I was like, "Wait, you like the cinnamon rolls?" She's like, "Yes, we love them." I was like, "Well, amazing." That was the first ever customer and the first ever approval I got from a customer.
और ये थी इंस्टाग्राम से, क्योंकि एनी ने सबसे पहले टैग करके इंस्टाग्राम पेज
बिल्कुल।
को दिया। और इन सो कैन वी आर वी align with the fact कि business actually Instagram page से शुरू हुआ है rather than a website or a
बिल्कुल।
collaboration?
1029।
Instagram.
जी। मैंने वेबसाइट तो मैंने 2 साल बाद बनाई थी, when I saved a bit, right? I had a few funds saved for the website only. Even though Saad bhai, he saved me again so much money because he worked on the website, by the way. So shout out to him.
Right.
He worked on the website. He spent like weeks on it. So that saved me cost as well. Maybe the hosting की cost थी, it was about 15 to 20K for वो सब कुछ for करके वो I paid that, but he like really worked on the website, didn't charge me a penny for it.
Amazing. और a lot of people have this एक fear भी है कि यार हमारे इंस्टाग्राम पेज पे तो मतलब 5 लोग होंगे, सिर्फ मेरे बहन भाई होंगे, दोस्त होंगे, तो मुझे क्यों लोग ऑर्डर प्लेस करेंगे? तो ऐसे fears आपके पास थे when you were putting up your Instagram page the first time?
That's really good question. I just, make sure that whatever you're doing, right, in the root of everything, there's passion and there's love for the thing that you're doing. When you do that, you don't really care about being seen. And one day, or maybe the next day, maybe the day after tomorrow, people will notice that and they'll be like, wait, I want to be a part of that. And they'll, come. And then they'll be like, massive आपकी ऐसी पूरी building, पूरी आपकी fan build होते हैं और आपकी, you just grow. I didn't really care about being seen, honestly. And I, generally speaking, I never thought about it like that. Okay, oh, maybe I should, strategize something. Maybe I should post a reel, because I know people really sweat themselves over this in this day and age, especially आजकल तो कि रील बना लो जिसका कुछ करके creative करके कुछ रील attract करने के लिए. I really don't just do myself. I just, whatever idea I get, I just post whenever I want to. And I realize that this is a privilege, and it's really, really a blessing to be that, because some businesses can't relate because they have to, go out of their way, and that's okay as well. But just do whatever you feel, whatever aligns with you, with your true self. Don't ever do something that doesn't feel right to you. Like, maybe if you don't want to send another example, maybe I'll be able to articulate that better. Like, for example, businesses, right, when they start a new business, they want to start from level 10. You know what I mean? When you're starting something out, you should never start from level 10. Start from level 0, not even 1. Eventually, step by step, baby steps, you'll get there. You'll get to level 1, level 2. I feel like I'm at level 6 right now. 6 is into the business. You don't have to have everything, every professional person. Because, they'd be like, oh, मुझे वो उसको hire करना है, मुझे graphic designer को hire करना है. No, just do it yourself. Get Canva. It's free. Create something yourself. Do whatever you want to, but you don't have to have everything. You don't have to really worry about things that don't really matter and they come second. The first thing is you and your work. Is everything sorted over there? Then you can worry about the other things, graphic designer, website, and all of that, they come second. So that's what I wanted to say basically.
एंड जो अर्ली डेज में जब कस्टमर्स को ऑर्डर जा रहे थे सिनेमन रोल्स के, यू आर डिलीवरिंग और द राइडर इज डिलीवरिंग, was there any additional spunk that you were adding, like your video message or your handwritten note, that was that in retrospect was really making people share more about cinnamon rolls or your page on their Instagrams? Are there any memories of the first year of
I had
growing?
I had a handwritten note. I had a handwritten note, and in that note, I basically said that everything that you see and you're gonna about to experience is handmade and made from scratch and so much love. But you already know that. I said that, this is something, and I really appreciate you investing your money in big fat rolls. And I really hope that you'll like the product, something like that. I just basically sat down and I wrote this note in like 2 minutes. I mean, as if the inshallah first time is my. I was visiting my cousins and they had a printer basically, and I said that I wrote a note down and I said, क्या आप उसको print कर देंगे? कहते कि हाँ. Then I just within 2 minutes I wrote the note down. I was like, मुझे इसको print निकाल दे सिर्फ 10-12. मैंने वो निकलवाए, and then I used to send them to the customers with every order. मैंने उसकी photocopy करवा देता था. जब मैंने एक दफा print निकलवाए, उसकी photocopy करवा के मैंने भेज दिया. And up to I have like proper cards that I send out with the orders. But that's what I used to do back then.
Man, that is amazing. So at this stage in time, you're not using sponsored ads, or you're not using memes or any form of, let's say, gimmicky reels. But what you're instead doing is putting your heart with a handwritten note, making it more personalized experience for everybody. And in return for that, people are, some of them are putting up stories because they feel the love. And the stories, when they put in, their friends and family see the story, they follow the page, and they place more orders. कि यार अब तो देखना पड़ेगा. Was that like the primary growth in the first year or two, or are there any other forms as well that resulted in the primary customer? Let's say the first 100 customers.
Um, Wait, do you mean like when did I start growing? Is that what your question?
Yeah. So
I think
we're still talking about the first 100 customers. So let's say first
first
100 customers. How do you think what the primary acquisition of the first 100 customers are happening? Is it mostly word of mouth is spreading because of the connection and the taste of the product and the stories that people are putting up, or other mechanisms are working as
Well, yes. The thing is, when after like a couple of months, right, maybe 4 or 5 months into big fat rolls, I started sending PR packages to, like, people that I knew, like, because before big fat rolls, I think it's important to mention that I was a blogger. I had this blog called The Yellow Drama, which is taken down now. But
let's do a tangent there. What is the yellow drama about?
so basically, I was, as a 16, 17-year-old, I was massively obsessed with the Lord's album called Melodrama. And yellow is my favorite color. So I said, well, I'm going to have a blog called The Yellow Drama. So on that blog, I would just post, reviews, food reviews, just my life, day to day, whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm feeling, just my authentic self. I'd post about it on this blog, Yellow Drama. And it was cute for a while, but then, I just got busy with college and I had this tuition job, as I said. I was really busy, then I wouldn't post that much. But I had these connections. I knew bloggers, and they knew me. Oh, there's this kid, who posts, because I was the youngest who was doing it at that time, and I'd get invited to like restaurants. यहाँ पे restaurant है, restaurant था, which is like वो खत्म हो गया. It was called Tara Nuestra. It was really close मेरे घर से, महमूद कसूरी रोड के ऊपर. So they made me brand ambassador back in 2017. So even like at go over there, वहाँ पे सारे बड़े बड़े थे. Like maybe at that time they were like, I was the only 17-year-old. बाकी सारे maybe 28, 29, like बड़े थे मेरे से. They were like, आप तो बच्चे हो, आप यहाँ पर, क्या आप यहाँ पर आप कैसे करोगे? आप कैसे brand ambassador बनोगे? मैंने कहा नहीं, मैं कर लूँगा, मैं बन जाऊँगा. And then that's just what I did. So I knew all these people, and then I'd send to them when I had a business. But when उनको PR package मैंने भेजने, and they would really, promote it. And I'd be like, hey, just keep it real. I'd always say to them, keep it real. Like, don't ever fake it. Because people can tell when you're faking it. Don't fake it. Be honest. Be real. Let me know whatever you feel by the cinnamon rolls, if they're, good or not. But they were really kind and they were really appreciative of the product. They're like, it's good. So I think उनसे भी मेरी थोड़ा सा build होना शुरू हुए, following वगैरह. Or eventually I hit like 1,000 followers after a year and a half, I think, in big fat rolls.
Man, beautiful. When it comes to PR packages, imagine a person who is starting, let's say, a brownie or a fries business. Let's keep it different, fries, and one is starting, let's say, tank tops business. So what could be a PR package example for these guys to get their initial outreach? What comes based on your experience? What is a good PR package like?
PR package is like some of your personal favorite products. Like for example, with these bloggers, or even with any, I send them the flavors that I loved, and I wrote that down in the note. That's like these are my personal favorite cinnamon rolls that I have every single day, and that's what I feel about them. And I want you to try them and let me know what you think about them. And do you think do they really are they really the it product, or are they lacking something? So I'd give them questions and I'd be like, just post whatever you feel like, and I'd reach out for the people who, like for example, I would never reach out to someone who has pet, you know, a pet page on Instagram. Like for example, someone has like a dog killing page, when I have a cat page. I would never reach out to them obviously for cinnamon rolls PR package. I'd reach out to food bloggers or celebrities that are into food. Like for example, Sarah Khan. Do you know about her, the actor?
अपनी
Sarah.
सारा खान, सैफ अली खान की बेटी.
No, not that Sarah Khan. That apni Sarah Khan, Pakistani. Do you know her?
फरिया.
Do you know her, Sarah Khan, the actor?
Yeah, the Falak, wife
Like,
of Falak.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Sarah was in Karachi at the time, and I reached out to her and I said, "Okay, I have cinnamon rolls." She's like, "I'm in Karachi, but I'll let you know when I come in Lahore." Well, lo and behold, 2 weeks later, she comes to Lahore, and I'm the first person she reaches out to, and she's like, "I'm in PC Hotel. Can you send the cinnamon rolls?" And I was like, "Well, yes, can I come myself? Because I'm a huge fan." And I went over there, and we were chilling at this um at this restaurant that completely forgot the name of. I think Dampuch. I think so. PC Hotel ke niche.
Dampuk.
Dampuch. We were there, and we were like so loud because we couldn't stop laughing. We were like laughing so loud, and we just like we formed a friendship at that point, and we're still in touch to this day. Even when I did an interview with Urdu Point, Sarah like was one of the first people to watch it. He's like, "I love the interview, and I'm really rooting for you." And she's been that sort of person for me since the beginning of Big Fat Rolls. So I sent her the cinnamon rolls, and then she's like, "Oh, I love them." Her favorite was like peanut butter reloaded. And so, yeah, so I'd reach out to people celebrities or people or bloggers who have a love for food or dessert. And I would reach out to them and I'd send them my PR package. And then they would hit me back after like a day or two with the reviews or post about them. But I've never forced them or pushed them. So, you should post this, you should post like that. Whatever they want to do, I would just, pray that it turns out in my favor. Or turns out.
I think two themes I would like to highlight here for everybody that has really shown here. One is the idea of testimonials and reviews is not based on the fact कि हम लोगों को भेजें ताकि in return like almost bribe करें उनको कि in return वो हमें अच्छे reviews दे. Instead, go with the question, the curious mind approach, which is like, yeah, I have made these are some of my favorite flavors. I've of course made this with passion. I would love to know your honest opinion about it. And that idea, honest opinion, if you really care about your project, people are able to see that. And in most cases, we can say 9 out of 10 cases on the internet, people are nice people, especially if you have not from an authority, rather from an curious mind. So I think one of the things that Fahad has mentioned that I think everybody can learn from is the fact that whatever you're starting, it's a clothes thing, it's a food thing, it's a tech thing, you send over your PR package, but send it with a question, curious mind. What do you think about it? Do you have a feedback how I can improve? And of course, we would absolutely love it if you if you share it with your friends and family. They don't even have to tell them about कि यार ये आपको story लगानी है तो मेरी ठीक है. No obligations. Especially people do more for other people when they're not obligated to do. So that is a very important point.
1000%. I still keep the same approach, by the way, to this day. Like last week, I'm really excited, by the way, to announce that Big Fat Roll is stocking 2 new flavors at Bake now, Bake Lahore, mashallah. And I took so much time with them. I really went above and beyond with these 2 cinnamon rolls. They're basically called Snickers cinnamon roll and Raffaello's cinnamon roll that I call Rulo di Raffaello because it's Italian. So yeah, but the thing is, I was in Dubai in July. I got back in Pakistan I think in July end, and I went to see, I went to Bake's office, corporate office, and I met with the owner and I said, I'm working on the new flavors, I'm gonna get back to you soon. And then he was like, okay, well, I'm really excited. Well, since that day I was just working and I was working. I was fine, perfect, the cinnamon rolls. But then he hit me up like 2, 3 weeks ago, and he's like, "Yo, you said something about the cinnamon rolls. Where are they? The new flavors?" But this is like 5 months after our meeting, and I said, "Umar, you know what? They're working. I'm gonna get back to you." Cinnamon roll, my pass flavors stay, but the thing is, I like to sit on the ideas. I like to sit on the ideas, the thoughts, and I really let them age. Okay, like for example, up in the spur of the moment, I can make a flavor. I can make a flavor right now like that, but would it really age well? Because with baked, right? With big fat rolls, I would really make flavors like this, but with baked, it's different. Their dynamics different, and I am I'm like with everybody over there. Like I'm not a single business over there. I'm a part of the whole infrastructure. So I took my time with it, and then I really tried to perfect it. So the very last moment when Umar hit me up, he's like, "Hey, I really think you should stock the cinnamon rolls by Christmas, by the holiday season starts." Then I reached out to my customers. I posted a story. I said, "Okay, you guys, I have to lock some flavors down. I'm making a test batch." I didn't tell them anything about it. I just said, "Okay, I'm making a test batch. I need your help. Will you please help me, just give your honest opinions. Like be as mean as you can. Let me know what these flavors are lacking and what you would like me to improve in the cinnamon rolls." And so I sent to them, and they gave me some really, really good suggestions that I took notice of and that I tried to, work on. And then, well, lo and behold, I noticed cinnamon rolls 2 days later after the suggestions. So I still use this approach to date regarding using people for their honest opinion. And with sinners, I just already told you, they're just my ride or dies. They're with big fat rolls all the time, and they're gonna be with me till the very end. And so they were like, "Let's do it. Let's, we'll be brutally honest with you. Just send us the cinnamon rolls." And I did.
There is a article by Kevin Kelly called "1,000 True Fans." So listeners here can just Google "1,000 True Fans" by Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly argues that if you can have 1,000 true fans for the customer, for your business or your product, you are set for life, because those 1,000 people who will give you their genuine opinion will of course buy from you yearly basis, monthly basis, but they will also then spread the word out to their other people. And for any business to be successful, if you have 1,000 true fans, you're set for life, and that has a ripple effect. So instead of again thinking about the scale कि हम 1 लाख Instagram followers कैसे लेंगे, rather than focusing on those first 1,000 customers or 1,000 followers who are the true fans, and whatever you have to do, they make them part of the journey. कि यार ये मुझे नया flavor करना है, आप लोगों की क्या opinion है इसके बारे में, मैं कैसे improve करूँ, give them the tribute and make them part of the journey, take them behind the scenes. And that idea, I see, Fahad, that you're doing beautifully within your big fat rolls empire with the sinners, as you call them. So, अगर कोई sinner का कोई badge tag हुआ ना, तो give me as well. I would also want to be one of your sinners as well.
Oh, you are kind.
Cinnamon rolls around the world. Yeah, I would love to be
Really
the
kind
part of
for
the
that.
sinners community.
I might work on a Sinners launch, a Sinners merch soon. Might do something about that.
Yep, just need the 1,000 people to wear that, or 1,000
Yeah,
people to
yeah.
support that, and that's it. 1,000 true fans.
They're called sinners, but they're really, really, they're really, they're really good people. Like they're not really, really sinners. You know what I mean? They're really, really, they're really spiritual people. They're really good people, kind people, and they're all like-minded, share similar traits, go-getters, kind. And they're go-getters. That's what I like about them. They don't really care about anything. They put in the work, and they are such big inspirations. And they're just amazing.
I have another question around sinners and your target audience, but I just want to tell one more thing before that. Your story about messaging Sarah Khan with your cinnamon rolls. Guys, one more thing that I want to tell everybody is that with a lot of us, we think that the celebrity, the million plus followers people, they operate at a different league altogether. They won't be listening to us. They won't be talking to us. They'd be mean. But the reality is that सारे दुनिया के जो इंसान है वो कितना फेमस है या ना फेमस है, वो लोगों के they are able to read through the eyes of the people के किसको अपनी चीज के बारे में, अपनी स्टोरी के बारे में पैशन है. So when Fahad reached out to Sara Khan, I am very sure कि Sara Khan was able to uh, see through कि ये बंदा अपनी products के बारे में, अपने roles के बारे में बहुत passionate है, versus all those 1,000 messages that she gets every day of hi, how are you, I want picture, I want a friendship with you, and so on and so forth. Instead of that, do not worry about the fact that the universe is not able to see through it. Once you are able to, आप शाहरुख खान को भी मैसेज करोगे, वो भी आपको देख के आपका पड़ेगा, because the idea is that everybody at that level, and at every level we have this, humans are able to see through humans. They don't even realize that they're doing it, but humans are able to see through it. So just be very honest and passionate about your things, and you'll see that universe rewards you, in multiple ways that we can't even comprehend in our
1,000%.
conscious mind.
1,000%. I had like only 600 followers, by the way, at that time. So, it doesn't even matter if you should have 1,000 followers in order to be considered valuable enough to reach to a celebrity. You can do whatever you want, do whatever you put your mind to. Just look at it. What matters is how you look at yourself. Do you look at yourself as a real business? Do you know in your heart that your product is good? So as long as you have that, this is why I keep emphasizing on this. Your product should be good. As long as it's good, you know in your heart that I'm really one of the best out there. And I'll do it. I'm doing it differently. I'm doing it conveniently. I'm doing it more better. And no one's ever done that like that before. You'll have this confidence that'll take you places.
Beautiful. Fahad, आपकी target audience, how were you able to figure out कि are you target audience Gen Z, is it millennial, is it different age brackets, is it women, men, कहाँ कैसे sort out किया अपनी target audience और कैसे उन पे double down किया?
Yeah, this is a really good question. The thing is, sinners, right? There are sinners are of every age in this, household. There are, 70 years old sinner. There are sinners as young as 13, 12, 14. I just don't really go out of my way to attract them or to captivate them. I just do myself. I really just put in the work. I'm myself. My business is itself unabashedly. So these people watch it. They're like, wait, we want to be a part of it. And they do. Even with like Rahat Bakers, I was really recently, Rahat Bakers, I was in Dubai at that time. And Rahat Bakers, by the way, a huge, massive business. Who reached out to me? Like, praise be to Allah, but they reached out to me and they're like, oh, we want to stock your cinnamon rolls. And I was like, do these guys even do that? Like their whole dynamic is different. They don't even stock from home-based businesses. Why me? But they're like, oh, then I went to meet the very owner, Rahat Bakers, and I told him कि मेरी नानों के घर के बिल्कुल सामने आप की बेकरी थी. जब भी मैं नानों की तरफ जाना, कभी भी ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि हमने राहत बेकर से bread ना लियो, because we just loved it so much. It was so soft, and I love their coconut cookies. Would get malai from there, and their parathe, and they had these like already pre-packaged parathe that we'd get, and our nashta wouldn't be complete without it. And now these people, I wish my nano she had seen this. I wish Nana Boo had seen this. But they reached out to me. They're like, oh, sorry. They're like, oh, we wanna stock your cinnamon rolls, and they did. So yeah, it just I think just be yourself unabashedly, and do it without the need of being seen. And you'll be taken care of. And just put your faith in Allah Ta'ala. I really don't know how I got here. I know people keep asking me, how did you get here? I think I really don't know myself. I was just praying. Okay, I was just praying. I think that's it. And I had faith. I knew I'd be taken care of. When my dad passed away, we were left with nothing. And Allah Ta'ala knows, like nothing was ever handed to us. No uncle ever stepped up. No hate to them, nothing. Like no, there's love, only love for them because they're my uncles and everything. But I'm just saying, no one ever stepped up. No one was ever like, oh, let me, arrange this for you. We only had Allah Ta'ala. And the way he opened doors, the way he made it happen, I don't think, I didn't think it would ever be possible for kids like me. But he was like, wait, stop. It is. Now make it happen and you'll see it yourself. And he did. I'm eternally grateful for that. Alhamdulillah.
Beautiful. Fahad, 2019 onwards, when you've graduated, did you go to any, उसके बाद what is a routine like? So 2019 to let's say अभी हमने business का एक transition आपका हुआ है roughly 2023 या 2024 में where you transition more from direct to customers to the vendors. उससे पहले वाले phase के अंदर when you're directly serving customers, how does the scale and a daily routine looks like? कब शुरू? When is Fahad starting? Is Fahad juggling between different work or study environments, or कैसे manage कर रहा है operations?
I did not have help. Like even I got help like this year. This is the very year, like sixth year of the business. Sixth year of the business, I got help.
Right.
In the past 5 years, I had no help, like in the bakery itself. And in the
What is
studio,
the routine like?
so I would like just I'd get the orders a day prior. I'd get the orders a day prior, and I would do everything by myself, from cutting chocolate, for putting on the cinnamon rolls, to washing dishes, like everything in the studio, because I would never bother my mom, because she's at home doing everything, home stuff and everything. And she has her own business, by the way, mashallah. Shout out to her business as well. It's called Mama Bear's Cookery. But
Okay, perfect. Let's give her a shout out as well. What is the name? Mama Bear?
Mama Bear's Cookery, because I call her Mama
Mama.
Bear. So her business is called Mama Bear Cookery. So
Perfect.
she has her own business, and I couldn't bother her. कि "मियाँ पाक ये मुझे ये करके दें, वो करके दें." So I would do everything myself. And I suppose had my already existing customers who were kept coming back for more, and who wanted the cinnamon rolls. And last last year in December, I think around the same time, I reached out to Bake, and I said that, oh, I wanna send you cinnamon rolls packets. You could stock, cinnamon rolls in the bakery. And I sent it to Umar, the owner, and he loved it. And he was like, yeah, let's make it work. So that changed the whole dynamic, the whole trajectory of my business. But before that, it was really, I was making small batches. Like, for example, I was making one batch a day, only one batch. Now we make like 4 to 5 batches per day, mashallah. So, everything changed this year. But to September, I was just patient. I wasn't seeking big change, or I wasn't, looking forward to it, because I knew in my heart whenever it would come, I would adjust accordingly. That's just how it works. But I wasn't seeking it. I wasn't like, oh, I knew it'd come. I knew in my heart that it would come. Like my business would, you know, be elevated, and I would delegate at some point, because I can't do everything by myself. But it happened this year, mashallah, after 5 years of work, consistent work, and hard work. I was able to be a vendor and supply and take the business to a whole other level 5 years after the business.
And when you were baking one batch a day, how does it look like? You had a fixed routine कि मैंने 9 बजे या 10 बजे स्टूडियो आ जाना है, raw material कैसे source करना है, कब baking start होगी, कब खत्म होगा, dispatch होगा, and you're done for the day. How did that universe look like? And then when did you focus on, let's say, talking to the new customers who are messaging through Instagram or WhatsApp and so on?
Oh, Vikas, this is a really good question. Thing is, I would come to my studio around like 9, 10 a.m. and I would leave around 10, 11 p.m. I would spend my whole day here. अम्मी ने मुझे खाना यहाँ पर भेजना. And I know, like, God knows, I would have this massive back pain by the time I'd be done. Like, I couldn't move. मैंने घर आके सिर्फ बैठी था, I said, God forbid, like, I'm dead. Like, when मेरे से हिला नहीं जाता था, मैं कहता था, मेरी दर्द हो रही है. But then the next day would come, and I'd be ready again. Go through all of it. But I can't complain. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, I'd be so tired. But now that I have help, alhamdulillah, I can't do anything. I'll ask Avas, कि वैसे आप ये chocolate मुझे काट दो, आप ये कर दो. So I'm really grateful to him as well. He does that for me. मगर पहले मेरा schedule काफी ज़्यादा disturbed था, मैं कहूँगा. मैंने पूरा दिन यहाँ पर निकालना. I wasn't meeting any friends. I missed my favorite cousin's wedding. I would, just everything. Whole happy, sad moments of my family.
And has it been, and it was a 7-day business, was it?
7 days business. Like, whatever order I would get, I would never turn it down. Like, if I'm getting an order for, let's say, one cinnamon roll, I would be like, okay, fine, I'll take it. And I'll do it because I need it. And I don't want to turn down customers. I said, okay, I'll take it. And then एक दफा ऐसा कभी ऐसा भी होता था कि मुझे order नहीं आया. I get free around like 2, right? मैं 9 बजे आके मैं 2 बजे घर वापस चला गया हूँ. Then half an hour later, a customer messages me, I want something. Then come back, get to the studio, make everything, मुझे रात लग जाए कुछ भी हो जाए I do everything myself.
Fahad, so during this time, at what point in or what phase you realize कि यार ये तो मेरा अब बड़ा business, मैंने तो ये business करना है. This is not a passion project जो साल किया बस ठीक है हो गया. When was it? Okay, we can divide that into more structured questions instead of just my curiosities. Then, and that is at what point in time the revenue became enough that you like it can now support my lifestyle even if I don't go out there and find an alternative career. And the second part is at what point in time you realize, okay, this is something I can scale and I can be committed to it rather than just outsource it to other people and go and do something else.
I think I realized that's a really, really good question. I realized that back in 2020, during COVID time, when I had this, I really was, after these really good period of shoes. Do you know what Dr. Martens? They're this shoe brand, Dr. Martens. They're UK. So I really wanted these shoes, and they cost around like £250 or something. So I bought them for myself with my very own money, and I said, wait. And that's when I realized in that very moment when I hit purchase, right, when I put in my card details, and they said, okay, oh, your order will be delivered, and it got delivered to Annie's because Annie lives in the UK. It got delivered to her address, and then she brought them for me in Pakistan. But in that very moment, I realized that wait, this can really turn into something else. Like I can really, this can support me, and this can really be there for me now. That I think that it can help me, and it did. Mashallah, alhamdulillah. Do you guys mind if we take just 1 minute? We have to look at the cinnamon rolls because I think for rice.
Definitely.
1 minute, right? I'm going to turn the
Definitely.
camera off just for 1 minute. Thank you for waiting. I'm really sorry.
Yes. Not at all. I think this is very important, and I'm so happy to see कि अवैस पीछे देख भी रहा है about के cinnamon rolls चल रहे हैं.
There he is. He's just sorting
यार,
it out.
we have to talk about this aesthetics a bit more. ये मुझे बताओ ये स्टूडियो कब इतना अच्छा कैसे ये aesthetically ऐसा हुआ है, शुरू से ऐसे था, कैसे इस पे काम है? What is the story of the studio?
नहीं करेंगे ये जब नई जगह देखी थी ना, यहाँ पर सिर्फ और सिर्फ मिट्टी थी क्योंकि ये abandoned थी, पूरी जगह abandoned थी. But I had this vision कि I just want a massive space, and I don't like crowded spaces because it just really makes me feel a certain way. मुझे लगता है मैं suffocate हो रहा हूँ. So this was going to be perfect. Thank you. This was going to be like my safe space. I wanted to be myself. I wanted to be just a bit empty as well. And let's say if we got the marriage offer, there's not like much furniture or anything. But
Beautiful.
but यहाँ पर रमजान था. Really, whoa. क्या होगा? Okay. I thought something wrong. कुछ टूटा तो नहीं? Okay. So रमजान शुरू हुआ था नया मेरे मियाँ थे से कुछ लेने के लिए हम because we were gonna just distribute stuff among people. So we were like here. It was in 2022. And मेरी नजर ऊपर पड़ी ना किसी स्टोर के ऊपर था ये जगह. तो पूरी विंडोज काफी नेचुरल सनलाइट अंदर आती है. लाइक अभी लाइट कहाँ पर कम है मगर नेचुरल सनलाइट ज्यादा है. बिना अगर आप मुझे देख रहे अभी तो आप बोले कहाँ पे नेचुरल सनलाइट आए. तो मैंने कहा खिड़कियां जो दिखेंगी मुझे जगह इनसे पूछी इनकी जगह मैं इनसे आके देख कर आऊँ. तो कहते कि वो अवेलेबल नहीं है रेंट के लिए. मैंने कहा मुझे दिखाया मैं सिर्फ देख लेता हूँ. तो मैं ऊपर आया. It was like a haunted house. इतनी मिट्टी इतना डस्ट सांस लेते हुए अगर आप पैर लगाते पैर उछालते हुए इतनी मिट्टी थी. But I had this vision. I was like, me thinking, Fahad, you sure you need this? You sure you can turn this into something that you want? क्या आपके लिए safe होगा? मैंने कहा, I think so, and I don't really know, but I want to go for it, and I want to make it happen. So so we just put everything down, got it on the lease, and then we just got it fixed. It took like 3 months to get everything sorted. White post कराए सारी जगह का, and everything that we did. यहाँ पर आके set करना, कोई connection, light का connection नहीं था, electricity नहीं थी, कुछ भी नहीं था, and everything we did after we got here. But it was really worth it.
Amazing. And that also reminds me, I saw on your Instagram a couple of times you've held a workshop style as an event as well. Is that within this studio space as well, or is that some third party collaboration?
No, this is all studio, alhamdulillah. And those people, right? They're only like people who have been here since day one with Big Fat Rolls. They want to learn the product that they love, and I don't hold back with Because I think when I started out, right, nobody was here to guide me, tell me, "Oh, you should do this." Nobody was here to save my time. I learned everything the hard way. So I don't wanna hold back information or gatekeep with these people. I really whenever they come for workshops, I really go all in and I share everything that I have on these very premises over here. And they love the space. We just have fun, we chill, and we talk. Sometimes the workshops turn into a therapy session, and I love that as well. And we just chill. We laugh. We make cinnamon rolls. We eat them. That's what we do at the workshops.
Man, that is amazing, and I think also shows a way more window into your authenticity in a way that the formula is not the information. There's a quote as well which I read, which was like, if information was the solution, everybody would be a billionaire with six packs. The idea is that if we only need information to be billionaire or six packs, then everybody can have it. But the real magic is in understanding what calls to us and having the courage and all the story and the chote chote elements of Fahad share kar hai, to execute them in a way that you are just taking baby steps at a time and then going on to the next step and the next step. Uh, and I think what the workshops that you're doing, it's adding to me, to the customers and all of us, it's adding more flavor to uh, the trust behind it as well. कि यार we're not again just consumers of it, but we are part of the process of making it as well. We know what goes behind it, and he shares it with us. So I think ये जो काबिल की यूनिवर्स है ना, इसके अंदर हम बहुत ज्यादा फोकस कर रहे हैं एक चीज के ऊपर कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर, लाइक इट हैज ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड इन कंट्रीज आउटसाइड ऑफ पाकिस्तान, दैट uh, the formal sector employment is not the only answer. The answer is also that if you have a passion product, you take it on with a social media or a social commerce model, जहाँ पे you're able to connect directly to the customers, even with one product and a one home studio or a one home kitchen or a one knitting studio or so on. But go ahead with authenticity. So you guys are the new the Liptons and the Coca-Colas of the world, in a way that we don't have, and share the fact, share behind the scenes process. And the more you share in the new Gen Z and the millennial economy that Pakistan has, because everybody has smartphones, from cities to villages to urban to rural to north to south, everybody has smartphones. This is the best medium. And the more we are seeing that the big budget advertisement is not hitting more audience. Instead, it's events like workshops, it's behind the scenes stories, and that is what is hitting. So I think, Fahad, I think all of that you've done beautiful. It's such a beautiful story. Fahad, we just want to take it for the last 10 minutes. I know we've taken a lot of your time. At the end of it, where you took to the scaling model, when did you realize, yeah, other forms of method, just direct to customers ke alawa, vendor based model is also a thing, where I can go to Rahat Bakery or go to Baked, by the way, I think is doing phenomenal job in
Yeah.
especially Lahore, because I discover a lot of my Greek yogurts and clean proteins and brownies all the way from Baked as well. So when did you discover that this is a new environment that is being ecosystem that is being created in Lahore, and I need to in Pakistan, and I need to tap into it?
My friends have been telling me about it for like, I think, a year or two. They were like, "Oh, you should stoke at Baked." I remember I had this, I was going to a different gym at that time in 2019, not 2019, 2021, I think. And even then, my gym buddy was like, "Oh, you want a business, right? You should, stoke at Baked." And I was like, "What's Baked?" I didn't know about it at that time. So he told me, you should stock at Baked. I was like, "Well, I'll look into it." And I did. And I was like, "Okay, well, will I be able to manage like that? But अगर हर रोज में भेजने होंगे, will I be able to manage?" So I was a bit scared at that time. Then 2 years later, I was sitting at my friend's house and we're just chilling. And he's like, "Oh, you should really, become a vendor and stock at these places. Like Baked is really popular right now." And I said, "Okay, I'll look into it." Still, a bit skeptical. Okay, will I be able to take the work? Because will I be able to maintain? No, the question was, will I be able to maintain the quality? Because right now I'm making small batches. Will I be able to maintain the quality? And will I be able to put in the same work in the 4 batches that I make every single day? And so I had heard about it, a couple of times, and it was in my mind, I have to do this. But I wasn't really. I just left it to Allah. Like I said, if it's meant to be, it'll eventually just come down at the correct time. So and it did. I reached out to Baked, and it It was a sudden thing. I reached out to them, and Umar was like, "Oh, I love your cinnamon rolls. Let's have them, right away." And I said, "What do you mean right away? I don't think I'll be able to manage like that. Just give me a bit, give me a moment." I took like a week just to plan, and I was on the lookout for someone who could be my help in the studio because I knew I wouldn't be able to, do it all alone. So I got help then, and they were amazing. There was a guy before Abbas who had to leave because he got to university now. So he was there and he helped me for like a couple of months. And we would be in the studio, every time I was working for Bake and Rahal Bakers as well for a brief time. So I knew I wanted to become a vendor, but it's really important to know that sometimes, right, we can't do everything ourselves. Like we are really delicate creatures, the way we're built, and our programming is so delicate. Sometimes we have to leave our struggles and worries to the higher power, the one who quite literally sends them down to us. Once you leave it to them, you let Allah Ta'ala take control and you're like, you take this because I can't, but this is what I want. Just bring it down whenever it's the best time and whenever it's appropriate for me because He knows I'll be ready then. And He does, and He sees, and He really orchestrates it in the best way possible. If you take this stress and burden, you get stuff like blood pressure, anxiety, depression. I can't do that. I'm here for the for a short good time. I'm not here for a long time. We're here for a blip only, us humans. And before we even know it, we're pushing 40s, 50s, 60s, and we're like, oh, where did the life go? Because I looked at my grandparents, they were full of life, and they were like, we were just like 20 yesterday, and we were in. My grandparents were lived in Dubai as well. When the Abu, my Bujuba, Nana, one of my Bujuba, the Bujuba lived in Dubai, and he was like, I was like about 20 years old जब कल था जब आया था Dubai, and now I'm retired and I'm in Pakistan now. So life is so short. We can't do everything. We can't take every stress. We can't chase after everyone. You just have to realize what your true, authentic self wants. Tell him, and leave it to him. Because you can't do it. We can't do it without him. And just watch all of it unfold in the best way possible. That's quite literally the key of my business. How I made it work. Because God knows I had no help, nothing. Nobody ever came down and wrote down the business plan for me. You should do this next year. I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow, honestly. I genuinely don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. But I have faith that I'll be taken care of and everything will be well. That's the key for my business.
Inshallah. What is the current mix now in terms of the cinnamon rolls that are leaving the studio? What percentage of them you would say are going to the vendors, and what are percentage are going direct to the
Cinnamon
customers?
rolls rise over. Cinnamon rolls rise over. Let me show you the cinnamon rolls.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me wait one second.
we love it. We would love it.
Let me just take you to cinnamon rolls. I think वो proof उनका ना मैंने proof होने के रखा हुआ था. तो proof हो गया. Let me show you. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
There we
the
go.
moment.
There we go. They look so pretty,
Oh,
pretty. Look at that. Look at that.
this site, it's an irresistible site. Fahad,
Yeah, but they need me now. They need me because I have to bake them.
Fahad, can you do the camera exactly like you did? I'm going to take a snapshot as well of
Yes,
the.
sir. Yes, sir. One sec. They-
No, you yourself as well. आपने अपने पे किया था जब. And 3, 2, 1. Perfect. What a caption. Beautiful. Fahad, what is the roughly ballpark? What is the mix now going? Is vendor the bigger, the better business now in terms of percentage mix versus direct to customer?
Come again?
So in terms of, let's say 100% cinnamon rolls gets baked every day, what percentage of them goes to the vendors versus what percentage goes direct to customer?
So like, I'm also on Food Panda,
Okay.
So I keep like if I'm making, I'd sell like about 70% to the vendors.
Which is baked
30%
primarily.
baked, yeah, baked, and then 30% for myself, Food Panda, and the orders, offline orders.
And rest is based on the order. Whatever comes from the Instagram comes from the Instagram.
Mm.
Where so people, if they have all over Pakistan, they're able to enjoy the cinnamon rolls. क्या भी लाहौर में है?
Yeah, I deliver everywhere to Leopard's Career, right? I do overnight shipping. Multan, Sialkot, Islamabad, Rawalpindi, we deliver everywhere. And I do really good packaging. वो मैं कहता हूँ मैंने टेस्ट किया वैन को 2-3 दफा जब मैंने लॉन्च करने से पहले out of city shipping. I'd make a package and I'd show it. And then ऊपर छत से फेंका नीचे. मैंने कहा उसको देखो सही है कि नहीं है. And the cinnamon rolls were perfectly fine. I said, well, they're safe now. Because they're not going to be vigilant, with it. They're not going to be careful, you cinnamon roll को ध्यान से उठाओ और फेंकते हैं package पे ऐसे. But I wanted my out of city customers to be a part of it. So we really packed them really, really well. So much bubble wrap is involved. And, good quality boxes. And so we make it happen.
Maybe even now the days are going until 9-10 p.m. or the days are ending a bit.
No, alhamdulillah, I'm really, really grateful, eternally grateful to Allah Ta'ala कि I get free by like 3-4 and I have the whole day to myself. I can go to gym, I can meet friends, I can watch a movie, I can tease my mom by going back home, I can talk to my siblings, I can do whatever I want to do. So I'm really grateful for that. Alhamdulillah.
Where are all the places, the handles, the usernames, or the email address you can share here that people can find you? And we'll put them in the show notes as well.
How do
So,
I add them? Are you talking to me?
yes. Where are all the Instagram handles, or what are the Instagram handles / numbers? Anything you want to share?
At the rate Big Fat Rolls. That's it.
It is BIGFATROLLS.
That's
at
correct.
Instagram. And people can also find it in Lahore only, in the vendors at Baked.
Yeah, Baked is in Lahore only, but for out of city, they're gonna have to place an order, confirm their order, 2-3 days prior to delivery, so that just so we can make it happen.
Perfect. And is there any event that might be coming in the next quarter that we should be aware of?
Well, I just put out some 2 really good, perfect flavors at Baked Lahore. And I think everybody should check them out. This is my best work, and I'm really proud of them. Everything is homemade. The nougat that goes in the cinnamon roll, because I made it myself, and it's my recipe. And then the Rulo de Raffaello cinnamon roll, it's so good, and the way it comforts and the way it just really hits you, it gets you thinking, okay, wow, this is really good stuff. So I'm very excited about that right now.
Thank you, Fahad. We are very excited about it as well.
Thank you
And
for
thank you for
having me.
giving
Thank
so
you for-
much time, giving us the tour of your studio as well. I think there are thousands of nuggets in there. And for all the listeners and readers of the case study, you'll be able to see all the nuggets extracted as well. And you can find us all in all the different podcast platforms and YouTube. And of course, whenever you order from Fahad, as always, Fahad said, give your honest feedback. And with you guys and I together will join the Sinners Club. Absolutely love
Welcome
it.
to the club, guys. Welcome to the club. Thank you, Fariha. Thank you, Vikas, for having me. I was really honored, and I really, wish you all the best. And thank you again.
Thank you. Take care.
Love this.
Allah Hafiz.